Oh, baby, the things I want to do to you. Dirty talk. Let's dive right in. At Sexual Quantum Leap, we like to call it sexual expression. So, I'm going to be breaking down how you can do dirty talk more effectively. And also, we're going to be talking about how you can actually say it where it feels authentic and congruent. Because sometimes, you look at 101 dirty talk lines and you just don't feel comfortable saying that. And I want to say stuff that turns you on and turns her on. Because just walking up to a woman and going, "You filthy little slut,"
That doesn't feel good.
she might go,
Doesn't do anything.
she might not like being called a slut and all that, and then you just said that and you thought it turned you on because you had to say this dirty talk line, but
Yeah. And it might not even feel authentic to yourself. And that's the point. It has to be authentic for yourself. And it also has to be consensual with her. She has to basically like what you said as well. You can play around with that and just tiptoe around it and find words that actually work for both of you. But it is important that it is authentic to yourself.
yeah. And what I want you to do is this, let's just dive right in. For the dirty talk, it's I really find out for a woman, when I'm with a woman who's new, I'll find out, hey, is there anything you don't like to be called? Is there anything that's off the table? Yeah. I'll say that. Let's just do a role play. Hey, is there anything that's off the table for me to say?
Yeah, I really don't like to be called a slut or a whore. That just doesn't work for me. But there are a lot of other things I really like to be called yeah.
Is there anything else you don't like to be called?
No, other than that, I'm really free and really, really good, and yeah.
Cool.
But if something comes up, I'm happy to voice that when it comes up.
Cool. What's something that really turned you on in the bedroom? Is there anything specifically?
Well, if you call me your little cum catcher, that really gets me going.
Ooh, cum catcher. I like that one. Yeah. And then what she can do as well, she can ask you what turns you on for me to say, and then I could say I love calling you X, Y, and Z. I love calling you the dirtiest, filthiest fucking cum catcher in the world. Actually, I love that one too. So then we've come to an agreement, that's amazing. Or say I love calling you a dirty whore. She's actually, just don't call me that because that was something that she doesn't like to be called. But at least you can catch this early on. And then when I'm with a woman, it's you don't need to go, "What do you like to be called in the bedroom?"
You don't have to have your laptop with you.
And no, it's just "Hey, is there anything you don't like to be called in the bedroom?" Because I do like doing a bit of dirty talk. And she's "Actually, yeah, just don't say this." And then when you have this back and forth more and more with the woman, she'll be like, "Oh my God," I'm going to fuck you up so much. I just can't wait to pin you down and use you as my cum catcher. And then saying something like that, and then
It can expand over time as well. Maybe you
100%.
start slow and then it expands over time. Maybe she doesn't feel comfortable with certain words or certain names in the beginning, but maybe she feels more comfortable with it during the time, especially when she sees how much it turns you on, especially, and vice versa. So
yeah, and I can say, "Hey, it actually really turns me on to call you a dirty little whore in the bedroom." Is there a reason that you don't like the word whore? Is there?
maybe there is one.
Yeah, maybe she has one. She got told in the past like this. But then as she said, you get more and more comfortable. You can say this, and that would be fucking great. But at the same time, there's so many things that you can play around with. And then what I want you to do is write down all the stuff you'd like to say to a woman in the bedroom that would turn you on, and take only into consideration right now what turns you on. Don't think, "Oh my God."
Just look from your own perspective at that very moment.
I hope my wife doesn't. What will my wife think of this? Just write it all down, and then you can bring it up with her. And this is where I hope you have a really great relationship with your partner, where you can bring these things up with her about what turns you on, what you want to be said, what you want to say in the bedroom, and what she possibly wants to be said to her. And there's so many nuances in this, and it's not just the dirty talk line about what you're saying. It's about what you want her to say to you, and the tonality and the way she looks at you.
Yeah.
So I might want.
We will go into that more and more depth in different other videos. But it is not only about the words that you are using, and also those words don't necessarily have to be dirty, so to speak. They can be loving, they can be caring, they can be whatever works for you and whatever really turns you on. And if it is to tell her how much you appreciate her, that's totally fine as well.
Yeah. It's more like the sexual, that's why we call it
Yeah.
the sexual expression. What are the sexual expressions that you're doing when you're talking
Yeah.
in the bedroom with your partner that turn you on? And it's like, what do you want to say to her? And what do you want to hear her say to you? I love it when she calls me a powerful, strong man. Like, oh, you're so fucking powerful. You're so strong. Oh, your cock's so big. It just like turns me on so much. Or I love it when you come all over my face. Or I love it, like whatever it may be. It's like those nuances for you and your connection with your partner. It's like get really clear on those. And then like I'll instruct Isabel, like I want you to say it and look at me like this when you're saying these dirty talk lines. And in the same way, she won't really so much instruct me. But if I'm like, hey, can you please get on your knees and suck my cock? It's like, will that work?
Might not work.
So it's a
I'm
whole
most likely not going down on my knees.
So there's a whole section of like dirty talk, and like there's the whole section, I mean, of like the vocal tonality, like and like the body language and that. But I just want to make it really clear, it is really important for that. And to practice your dirty talk lines, what you can do is write them out and practice saying them out aloud. Just keep practicing them and practicing them and practicing them until they feel congruent. Because you might like, oh, this is a little bit risky to say this to a woman, or you might like not feel like it might be normal in your head, but then when you voice it out loud, like, am I allowed to do this? You'll be surprised how many women will be so turned on by your dirty talk lines and saying it with conviction.
Yeah.
And then when you write down as well what you want to say, write down what you want to hear from a woman, and then when you write that down, this is a great way for foreplay and getting her so freaking turned on.
And also it gives her permission to also voice whatever she wants to say to you, because I'm pretty sure she will have some fantasies around that as well.
Yeah.
And also make sure to really, like, it's not only about the names, it's also sometimes about like how to call certain parts of the body, for example, like, is it a cock, is it a dick, is it a penis, or how do you want to call it? Like, there's so many nuances, and what feels most like, yeah, authentic for you and for the person you are seeing or you're connecting with.
Yeah.
And to really be clear on that, I feel like
Yeah.
that helps as well.
Then I'm coming at, and it's like the body language, like maybe grabbing by the back of her hair and pulling her in close. You know what I want to do to you?
What do you want to do to
I want you to get down on your knees. And when
Right
you're
now?
down on your knees, I want you to look up at me. Look at me like I'm your fucking man. And then I want you to open your mouth really slowly. And then when your mouth is open, I want you to just wait there. Wait there with your mouth open and thinking of how badly you want my cock deep in your fucking throat. So it's like building it up with the eye contact, the hair pulling, all this included. That's just like a little one off the top of my head, And when you're doing this, it's like you just like play around with the dynamic. And the way that Isabel looks at me, it's like this deep, submissive like look of like surrender, of like I can't wait for this. So it's also like encouraging your partner, but this happens through watching the foundations where she feels so safe of like what you're saying. She just feels like she can stop any moment. And if it's like you push the like limit a little bit far, like you're saying something in the bedroom, like, hey, just like maybe, can you not use that word? That would be that'd be fantastic. So.
Yeah. It's basically, to put it in a nutshell, to create a container where you can voice whatever you want to voice with your partner, and to be really open and not judgmental towards your partner, and also in vice versa, so that your partner isn't judgmental or in any kind of way, weird in that aspect towards you, and to just create a real safe container where you can voice whatever is there.
Yeah, and when I'm in the bedroom, sometimes I've done this before with Isabel, like I'd say something, I forgot what it is, and then she's like, actually, can you not call me that from now? I'm like, oh, perfect, no problems. It's not like I'm taking it personally, but it's not like she's getting super angry as well. But I know the parameters of what she likes and what she doesn't like to be called. But then if I'm just like going, cool, here's my parameters, and you don't want to be with a woman who's just like, you can call me anything, because I guarantee you'll say anything, and there will be that one thing that will just like set her off.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like figuring out and being really diligent in your discovery of like going, hey, well, is there anything you don't want to be called? She's like, oh no, I'm all cool. Like, no, really, you can tell me it's all cool. She's like, actually, when I was younger, this guy called me this, and it's usually like slut or something like that.
Yeah.
But then you can turn this into an empowering statement where you can actually put the empowerment behind that word, where you can call her a dirty little slut, and then she can be your dirty little slut. There's a difference between you're a dirty little slut, like you're my dirty little slut, you're my cum catcher, opposed to you're a cum catcher. Whatever it may be, or as Isabel was saying, that positive reinforcement of like saying beautiful uplifting things in the bedroom. But it's like whatever turns you both on.
Exactly.
And some days I'll be like, oh my God, come here, darling. You are absolutely incredible and you turn me on so much. And then some days I'm like, come here, you dirty cum catcher, and get on your knees and swallow everything that I've got inside me. So it's really depending on the day.
Exactly. And it doesn't always have to be humiliating or degrading. It can be really, really empowering and beautiful, as Andrew said.
I love how red you've got. Are you turned on?
Yeah, a little bit.
There you go. So that is all about the dirty talk. That is like there's so many things in that. Go try out the exercises. Go write that stuff down. Again, write out for yourself what you want to say to her in the bedroom, what you want her to, what you want to say to her,
What she wants to say to you, and then exchange.
and then you exchange it and you have
Yeah.
a look and have a good conversation. Enjoy. Have some fun.